Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast. We had a hell of a pre-show. We want to bring that show to you guys right now. And I'll tell you, it's almost like literally I stepped into a time machine. It's fantastic. It's been a great week thus far. And I'm going to go down my intros here, and I'll explain when we get to the end of them exactly what I'm talking about. I'll start with the one and only. He was in the green room waiting for you to come, folks. It's Crap Gamer. He's here tonight.
Yeah, that's right, man. I took my sweet-ass time getting in
you
here.
You did. We appreciate that, though.
Yeah, you know, I got my PlayStation Mini, and I'm testing it out. So I wanted to make sure that everything worked, because these things are the hot item. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm gonna play this while I'm podcasting, because I can do two things at once. And man, these graphics are insane. I'm telling you what, just amazing.
I'm making a note right now to ask Crap questions twice. You'll be like, what? What was that question? I'm sorry, I was playing.
Yeah, exactly.
PlayStation Mini.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm playing this PlayStation Mini. Yes, it's amazing, folks. Sony has done it again. Thank you for inventing this, and also thank you for inventing CrossPlay, because without that,
man,
where would we be? Where would we be?
Where the hell would we be? I'll tell you where we'd be. We'd be making podcasts and doing them all day like Singular Bombastic Boom. Welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
Hey, man. First of all, happy birthday to Mooch.
Thank you. But happy birthday to you too, Boom.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. It's been one heck of a week. I actually had a video cross 38,000 views.
You know, Crap's been telling me. He's like, Mooch, will you please, for the love of God, start making some videos so you can actually get those kind of clicks? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know. And then you put that tweet out there and I'm like, man, maybe I should just get on there and start yodeling. I don't know what the hell. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Watch that, give it a like, man.
That's awesome, Boom. Congratulations. That's no easy feat. I'll tell you that much. It's not. So
yeah, I definitely appreciate it. But I'm going to say this. If you're tuning in now, get ready for one hell of a show, because the topics are going to be complete fire.
And we've got a special guest that definitely is not shy on his opinions. But before we get to him, I got Xbot 448, sometimes confused with 844. What's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, everybody in the chat? It is Friday, another awesome Friday, ready for Crossfire. I'm actually warmed up because I did a little breakfast with Boom earlier today, and I'm even more energetic than usual. So let's go, people.
You got it, buddy. And then I got my friend Italian Clowns, who would only come up to New York for the pizza. He doesn't even care if there's going to be an XO show up here in the future. Clowns, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Damn straight. That's a great intro. I like it.
You do need pizza, buddy. I think that's why sometimes you get a cold and it hangs out with you for too long. You haven't eaten well. You got to come up north.
Yeah.
All right?
I agree.
That's what you do up here. You could show up to an Italian house up here with 2 broken arms and 2 broken legs, and they'll ask you when the last time you ate was. They don't care how the hell you broke your arms and legs. That being said, I got Alan Walsh here from FullThrottle.com. And Alan, you have a big week, and we are going to have a big segment with your content. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's great to be on. Also, happy birthday to yourself, and Boom. What a week it's been.
I appreciate that, Alan. And in reference,
just back smiling right now.
He really is. This is his Christmas, folks. After this, he's taking the tree down. I'll tell you this much, guys. The reason I'm feeling like this is a time warp back to 2016, 2015 is I got a chance to hang out with Showstopper on Xbox Nation this week when he popped in. We had a great Hoof Clickers, and it was a great show. Definitely go check it out. But we have our guest tonight. He and I have been talking back and forth behind the scenes. He says, when am I getting on a Crossfire? Tonight's the night. Worrywart, welcome back to the scene. I know you've been here and there in the past few months, but it's great to have you on Crossfire.
Well, you're welcome that I'm here. I'm hearing about 38,000 views. Crap has 54,000 subscribers. I just want to let everyone know I just hit 41 subs. So you're welcome that I'm here.
Listen, you got to start somewhere, dude.
You're in my world, buddy. It's okay.
Hey, to be fair, Warrior would have a lot more subs if he would have kept his content up.
I've only had about 16 different channels, and I've taken them all down 72 different times. So.
Exactly.
It was hard keeping up with you on Twitter when you changed your icon. I said, is that really? I'd always check to make sure that was
I just gave up Twitter altogether.
I don't blame you. You probably, your hair grows back, all kinds of things that happen. It's amazing.
So much better. I stopped sniffing glue. Everything's so much better.
He gave up alcohol, amphetamines, everything. That's great. No, listen, guys, we kind of were talking about it behind the scenes. And Worry, I'll start with you because you were pretty opinionated on this. And I got to tell you, I liked the way you were going, and you and Boom were on the same page. Xbox having their XO show, okay? I kind of want to tie this in with the whole PSX being canceled. Is this something you think that Microsoft kind of knew behind the scenes and it was strategic, or this is something they wanted to do and they just want to bring this back to the fans because it was more fan-centric? It wasn't always about breaking news. It was about gaming, this and that. You were kind of getting into it. What do you think? And then we'll kind of bleed that into the whole PSX being canceled bit.
I don't know. I don't think it's all about PSX being canceled. I really think it's about they knew that they needed an event. They needed something to keep Xbox on the mind throughout the year, and it's something for fans. It really is. I think that they want their own event. They want to talk directly to fans rather than do it through a third party that may or may not, spread the message correctly. So I think it's a good idea. I really do. I was down on Xbox for a while, but we were talking before this about Forza Horizon 4 releasing and how great that is, and then the XO event coming back. I think it's just sort of like the beginning of a push maybe that starts now and leads into next gen of them really just trying to talk to just the gamer and engage them in a way that they haven't before.
I think that's pretty smart. Boom, you kind of are opinionated on this as well. Is that what you think the whole idea is? Or
well, here's the thing. What Worry Ward is saying is fantastic. And you know what? He's probably right. But you know what? Because I take chances and I put my foot in my mouth like I did with Tomb Raider.
Careful, Crap's recording you.
Which he's going to record me on this.
I've been looking for that on Game Pass. What's going on, Boom?
Trust me, I failed. Epic fail. I crashed. So, but listen, this is what I think, and I could be wrong, but you know what? I don't believe in coincidences. Okay, we do these shows, we do these podcasts because we're gamers and we're fans of the industry. Some of us, guy like Crap Gamer, who does have actual connections, does get behind the
Very
scenes.
few, but yes.
Well, you still have regardless. And a guy like Clowns, who knows people in the industry, will come across a tidbit of information. A guy like Alan Walsh, who interviews someone like, I don't know, Aaron Greenberg, will get the inside baseball. So even though Xbox doesn't know the specs of PS5 and PS5 probably doesn't know the specs of Xbox 2, they know what's going on in regards to their shows, right? PSX, we find out that it's been canceled because they don't have the content, and suspiciously enough, Phil Spencer shows up on Inside Xbox. Now that's like seeing the Yeti, right, or the Loch Ness monster.
That show needed him to appear, by the way.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, and what he comes on, right, and he says you got to, it's not the volume of what he said, it's how he said it that makes me interesting and perks my ears.
Be careful, Boom.
Wait, but he said first party is going to lead the charge at this XO event. Now, I'm not a Sherlock Holmes by any stretch of the truth, but everything that Microsoft is putting out in 2018 stops and ends with Forza Horizon 4, which officially launches on Tuesday, right? So what's going to lead the charge? I think we're going to get some announcements, and then. And then this is where it gets good. And this is where, if I'm wrong, so be it. I think we're going to get a couple of studio acquisition announcements. He says, if you remember, in XO02, we announced the purchase of Rare Studios. That was in 2002. That's 16 years ago. So why bring that up now? Bring it up because maybe it's kind of like he's fishing and he's just throwing the line out there to see if anyone.
That was brought up just to let people know that XO has a past. The new Xbox gamers out there might not realize there was a show back in the day that did drop some pretty big announcements.
But you know what? He could have just said, do you remember XO05 when we played Killer Instinct or something? But he brought up the studio announcement acquisition. I could be wrong, but I think that this is going to be something big. And you just add to the mix, PSX is not going to happen. It's Microsoft's, time to kind of just explode 2018 and go into 2019 strong.
Go ahead, Xbox.
Yeah, I was going to say, to Boom. When it comes to PSX, I think that it's not going on this year has nothing to do with it. I mean, if you look at what Phil does with kind of like projects they're working on, he keeps them under lock and key. Mm-hmm. This would take a lot of planning before time. And I know it's in November. People could say, well, that's a couple months, a lot of planning. But I wouldn't say that the PSX PlayStation experience has anything to do with this. I would like to say out there, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, Boom. I really do. But we all know what happened with Inside Xbox. People started going crazy. Their imaginations started running wild. And then what happened?
Recited.
People got disappointed. So I would tell the people, the gaming community out there, do what I'm doing. Take your expectations and lower them a little bit. Just
that's bull. Hold on. I have to agree with Boom for a change here.
Holy
right?
crap! I'm taking this.
As Xbox fans, we should never lower our expectations. We should always have the highest expectations. That's what PlayStation dudes do. They lower their expectations, and so they're not disappointed, right? That's just the way things work. Microsoft.
Well, I'm hearing announcements here and
hold on. Listen. There is some truth to that. They said flat out they're not done acquiring. There was an acquisition paper signed by Obsidian. I believe they're waiting for that and possibly other one.
I just can't wait for that acquisition of what's the studio?
Obsidian.
Obsidian. Yeah. To me,
and there's some other ones as well. Plus, everybody's been bitching about seeing Crackdown 3. We're gonna see Crackdown 3.
That'll be awesome for me.
We might see some Battletoads. Guess what? They just renewed the trademark for Perfect Dark.
Yes,
we might get an announcement for Perfect Dark.
Did good, cool
we might
crap.
get an announcement that thanks to keyboard and mouse support, we're getting Gears, whatever that Gears keyboard and mouse game is. Yes. We might get that. We might get Age of Empires on Xbox. I'm telling you. It's good to get excited about this.
I am, but I'm not going to be the person that goes out there and says studio acquisitions,
Xbox
announcements.
I like where you're coming from, but Crap's got a good point.
You know what Michael Jordan says? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like props to Boom for taking that shot on Tomb Raider. I take shots all the time. Sometimes I get them, a lot of the time.
Oh hell yeah! Do you remember me with Ryzen in the Xbox One X?
Yeah, exactly. So you got to. I mean, look, as Xbox fans, I think we should be able to be excited and hype this up because it's an exciting time, and I'm very excited about what's going to happen. I think that we're going to get some nice stuff. The only reason the reason why they didn't do stuff before was because they flat out said we didn't have anything, and so now that they do have some stuff, and they do. Let's see it. I think people just want to see what they have, and I think maybe we see the resurrection of that Elite controller, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm expecting to see that as well. My whole thing is, and don't get me wrong. When it comes to like Inside Xbox, I was the one saying, "Hey, that was a pretty decent show." I feel like they hook onto one topic and they linger way too far with it. I feel like Inside Xbox is like a half hour too long. Because they drag a certain topic out. But going into that show, I heard everybody talking about, they're gonna show this, they're gonna do this, and this is gonna be a big show. And then all of a sudden I hear everybody just backtrack and be like, yo, that shit sucked. So for once, I wanna hear people after the show really say, like, yo, that was a great show. Instead of being so hyped up to see.
Hey, the people that aren't hyped up are the ones that don't like Xbox for the most part, dude. I think Xbox fans will find a little something in all those shows. I thought this last Inside Xbox was pretty solid. Yes, they've had some that sucked, like that zombie room thing was terrible, right? I don't care who you are. That was dumb and wasn't needed. Holding off the games with gold announcements and the Game Pass announcements.
Crap, check this out, crap.
The show, that's what it needs,
The past couple E3s, people went kind of crazy with their predictions, right? And then when it came down to it, I thought they had some great E3s, but because those predictions that people went out and were crazy, outlandish, didn't happen, people were like, yo, what the hell was that? Like, they didn't show, what they wanted to show or what they expected to see. And I just don't want this show to be that same thing.
Man, I get what you're saying, but you can't live like all worried about what
I'm not worried.
I thought their E3s the past 2 years were solid. We're amazing.
Awesome.
I enjoyed the hell out of them.
I normally Crap would say that Xbox got something, but I do also think that Crap is right here. And shout out to Rock Dog who says, yes, Crap Gamer's right. XO 2018 will rock. Here's the thing, Xbox. There's a lot of stuff that Phil's been kind of holding on to. Mm-hmm. And I think this is their time. This is literally, they're at the bottom of the well. They just caught that quarter that was thrown down there by Troy. Okay. And they were like, it's our time down here. He's got a chance right now to go out there and make a splash. The other thing I think is very interesting, I want to throw out to the panel real quick.
You're such a goonie.
Right, I am such a goonie. He said booby traps. Right? That was actually perfect. I do want to say this much. I like how the Sony fans are actually, shout out to Face who's in the chat right now. They're actually turning around and saying, hey, guess what? PSX is canceled because guess what? PS5's coming out next year. I'm like, no, it's not. No. I think that next year you've got Days Gone. Okay, this is from Sean Layden. Days Gone and Dreams coming out next year. And I think they're going to release, like they did last time. The Last of Us came out the same year. I believe it was the same year or the year before the PS4 came out. So they're going to do the Last of Us 2.
Double dip. Yes.
They'll double dip. And that's fine. So I just think it's interesting. I always thought that Phil's comments way back when they asked him, why don't you do a dedicated Xbox show? He said, why would I do another show when I've got so much effort going into E3 and then 3-4 months later, I don't have enough to show again. It's hard to put that same kind of show on. The fact, Xbox, that they're actually doing this, they're not going to get up there and do it. They've been doing Inside Xbox. Inside Xbox is a great sleeping pill. Okay, it's a great way. All these people on Twitter are like, I have insomnia. Check it out. Okay, it's on Xbox.com. It is. It's true. It'll put you right to sleep. Especially when you get to the Fredo section hosted by AC Bond.
Oh, come on.
I love AC. I love him, but someone's got to get him a job. Give him something to do.
Mooch, check this out. When it comes down to it, I hear what you guys are saying, right. And I definitely hear what Crap and Boom are saying, and with it being, the end of 2018 going into 2019, thinking about right around the corner is new hardware where I know I predicted it. I believe Crap has as well, and other people on the panel. 2020, we're going to be seeing new hardware probably from both companies.
Absolutely.
I would see it more now. I'm just I guess I'm the type of person, I don't worry about things. It's just that I won't put my expectations through the roof. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want a lot of other people out there doing the same thing as well. And then if it's not to that 130% that they think the show is going to be, go back on my Twitter page and start bashing the whole thing, man.
You do make sense. I want to give a shout out to Wonder Fizz. He says Killer Instinct 2. And you know what? That's a possibility. I would love it, dude. I
think that fits perfectly in with the Game Pass stuff. I don't know.
Yes, use a Killer Instinct too, man.
I like where Crap's going with that. You want to throw that in the Game Pass and give your fans some fan service there, because there are a huge Killer Instinct group out there. Me not being one of them, I think that's great to do that. I don't think that's something I would stand on top of a tall mountain and scream out loud.
I think they're going to save some big backwards compatibility announcements. It's going to be a good show. I mean, 2 hours. I think they're going to do some good stuff. Is it going to be E3? No,
it's not. No. But we are going to. Like I said, I'm right there with Crap, and you know what, Xbot, I understand exactly where you're coming from, to be guarded, because we have been disappointed. All of us have in the past. But I just think that this is a good time for Microsoft to get ahead. Remember, if Sony's show was coming out literally a month to the day, because they're very early December usually. Right, so we're getting this November 10th. They usually have it before the double digits, so it's usually like the 7th and the 8th of December, because obviously the holidays are starting to come around and people leave, so they want people to fly in and enjoy themselves. This is an unbelievably timed. Whether it's lucky, whether it's done on purpose, this is a great opportunity for Microsoft to go out in 2018 with a bang and start strong in 2019.
Yeah. Now, Alan, I want you to kind of mention, you did get a chance to interview Aaron Greenberg. What was it that you kind of took when you had a back and forth with him about his feelings about the XO show and moving forward?
Yeah, so I did pick his brain a little bit on events and Microsoft's timing of their announcements. And one of the things he was telling me was that over time, we're going to see Inside Xbox kind of expand with more news announcements and more just bigger news overall. So at the moment, it's kind of a mixture of news announcements, interviews, videos that they make, marketing stuff and things like that. But he reiterated the fact that they've acquired 5 studios. They're going to have a lot of content.
They keep reiterating the fact that they're acquired studios. Yeah,
exactly. And he was saying that they're going to have a lot more content to show in the future. And he said E3 will still be their main event. That'll still be their main showcase. But they now need other things at other times of the year to highlight their content. Inside Xbox is one of those things. You're going to see that, grow with more announcements as time goes on. He said they're listening to what people are saying about the show. They want to improve it. And then the other thing is you're going to have this XO event later in the year, and they're going to have more announcements to share there. So I guess in terms of events and announcements, you're going to see more news, more exciting announcements revealed on these shows as time goes on. But it all, of course, goes back to the fact of they have to be ready. If they're not ready to show something, they're not going to announce it.
Now check this out, guys. Phil talked about E3 saying he doesn't really want to show anything unless it's coming out within kind of like that year.
Well, 18 months or so,
yeah. Now, see, this show, the XO being a yearly show, is the perfect area to show stuff beyond that. Even stuff that they might be kind of like messing with, like hardware-wise, like other controllers and stuff like that. But stuff that isn't in that window,
Xbox, why not
keep E3 exactly what Phil said he wanted to do?
Why can't they do what PSX did on their first year, where they just showed Ellie playing the guitar and Joel kicked a peach over to her? Why can't we see something with Fable and a CGI? Just something that keeps
we were
going to
see something like that at E3.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you there. I agree. But maybe, like you were just saying, the way time works out, now Playground Games has been announced. They're doing their hiring. Things are happening. Whoever's going to be, if Fable is in the works, whether it be Playground or somebody else,
dude, you really got to say if. I know they haven't said anything. It's like the worst kept secret.
It is
in the industry, man.
I'm just saying, I think that personally, that this is a great opportunity. Now, I mean, honestly, what is it? I do want to get the consensus of the panel, though. And Maury, I'll go back to you. You've discussed the XO. Let's talk about PSX. You've always been a big fan of them. I remember me and you having a conversation a while back, and you said something to the extent of, why not? Why not go out there and keep your fans happy? It's fan service at the least. So why not keep the momentum going? Sony's got quite this train going. It doesn't need the coal that Microsoft needs to keep theirs going. Why stop now?
Well, I'm glad that you came back to me because my 40 subscribers demand that I speak. Let me talk about Inside Xbox first of all. I think that the last Inside Xbox, this is just my opinion, I think it was the best one that they had.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
I liked the way that they pushed Forza Horizon. I like the way that they demoed it, the way that they showed it. I like the way that the content was shown, the way it moved. I thought it was the best one that they had. That leading into the release of Forza Horizon was great. The way they did it, I didn't see them. I haven't seen them do that with a first-party game or any game really in a while. So it was nice to see that. As far as the XO event, I don't think that every time Microsoft does something, they have to reinvent the wheel. They have to announce something huge. Right. Just let them have an event that keeps Xbox on the mind throughout the year. Even if they announce one thing, if they say, hey, by the way, we purchased Obsidian Studios, here's some of the work they've done in the past, and here's maybe an idea for the future. And then let everybody play games together, let everybody talk. What's that?
I said, I like this guy. What's his name again? No, I'm just playing, man.
Remind me never come back on the show again when you're on. Anyway, I'm just kidding. What was I saying? God, I forgot. I lost track of what I was saying.
They don't have to reinvent the wheel.
They don't need to reinvent the wheel. Like, let them have a fan event where people just get together. Do you remember when they had that 360 launch in the? It was like in the airplane hangar when the 360 first launched.
Oh, yeah, and they did that whole
right. And they had all those bean bags. People were sitting around just playing games and just let the event be about just having fun and
worry. Hear me out. And I think you're one of the people.
They don't have to announce.
You're one of these people but you're one of these people that'll understand what I said. Even though that wasn't that long ago, life was simpler back then.
Yeah.
And when you go and do something like that now, you've got all these asshats, pardon me, from the gaming media being like, what are we supposed to do? Pull up a beanbag? You know what I mean? So and all of a sudden you get bad press out of something that, like you said, is quite novel and something that's supposed to be fan service for the gamer.
The show isn't for the press. That's the thing. They want their own show. The reason they want this show is that they can control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's their show. It's their show. They're putting it on. They're inviting people. It's their message. So it's not about having to give somebody.
They're going to be there, don't worry, and they're going to report
on it. That's fine. But I mean, well, that's the thing. That's why you can't just make these broad predictions like they're going to announce this or they have to do this, or if they don't do this, then it's a failure. Just let it be an event. Let it be the XO event. And if they happen to announce something that's good, that's fine. But if they do something like they did with Inside Xbox, which was very good, the last one, then that's enough.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Let me just do a shout out and pay the bills to Kobe Dren, who says, question for the panel: who's your favorite video game dev company and why? Mine's BioWare because of those wonderful stories, i.e. Mass Effect, and yes, for Killer Instinct 2 for next gen Xbox Crossfire. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, Kobe Dren. But here's my thing, and tie that question in, Crap. I'll start with you. What do you think? Like, if they're going to do a big splash, or not even a big splash, a splash. Okay, maybe a halfway decent cannonball, okay, into the pool. What is it they're going to say or acquire or mention at XO that Phil's talking about that he's going to bring up on stage? I mean, he's going to do more than just, like, hey, here's Fable in a 2-second CGI. Is it Obsidian?
Did he say he was going to announce something big?
I thought that was the impression.
Well, he mentioned that they've used this event to showcase first party and acquisitions of studios. Yeah,
he said the last time we had this, we mentioned something as big as acquiring Rare. So like alluding to something big doesn't mean it may be an acquisition. Maybe it's not, but it's got to be something. And I don't know if Obsidian's necessarily the big splash a lot of gamers are looking for, but it is a talented team with decent IP.
I don't think it's just Obsidian either. Like, I think they want to end up with more first party than Sony, and I think it takes 2 more to do that. And not only will they have more first party than Sony, but their teams all now have multiple projects. If you just look at the facts, right? So, Playground Games, they're looking to hire almost 200 more people. They're going to have over 400 people on staff. Their LinkedIn
isn't it 600?
Yeah, no, Playground's looking to get almost 200, but overall, as a whole, all their studios are looking for about 600 people. So basically what happened is, if you look at Playground's LinkedIn, they're looking at hiring for Horizon games, an open world RPG, Fable, and a new IP. So they're working on multiple things. The Coalition, obviously working on Gears 5, and they've been rumored to be helping with this new Perfect Dark, which was, as I stated, they renewed that. So just this year. Okay. Interesting, because I said that was coming months and months and months and months ago. Yeah. People said I was full of shit. Interesting stuff. So it's definitely interesting time. You look at 343. They have 400 people working there now. They're ramped up working on that new Halo. Turn 10. They're focused on helping. They help out with the Horizon games and the Motorsport. They're still updating Motorsport. Compulsion games they're starting. You have Ninja Theory working on multiple projects. And the initiative is going to be real interesting, because if you look at their website, they're looking at creating stories. Yeah, that's what it says. Good. So whatever they're working on is obvious. I wouldn't doubt it's going to have some kind of multiplayer element for sure. Well, but just look at Gears though. I mean, Gears has a fantastic story. Halo has a fantastic story, but great multiplayer. So it could be something along those lines. And I think that'd be fine. I think Perfect Dark rebooted into a gritty third-person action adventure type thing fits that narrative perfectly, and I think that's probably what we're going to get. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited about what's coming up, and all this whole no games narrative will have to change to something else completely.
Yeah, that it will. But the thing is, Crap, and I mean, this is the one thing that I think is a positive spin that I want to put on XO. The show they want to put on is it keeps the audience alive. It keeps the brand alive, because let's be honest, everything you just mentioned, which is great, okay, Crap, is all next generation. So, and you go, yeah, no kidding. You know that. But the thing is, the consumer is still looking forward to games this generation. People
that was my
consoles.
That was my point about the XO event. Like, it doesn't have to, if you keep going into it where they have to announce something, it has to be now, it has to be big. Maybe it's just about keeping it alive and keeping it fresh and keeping it fun and keeping people engaged until that content is ready. And there's nothing really wrong with that.
No, there isn't. And that's why I'm so surprised that PSX is canceled, because Sony doesn't need the momentum. I get it, but
at this
why
point,
not?
They're just like, we don't need to do anything. We you know what I mean? I think they're just
well. Let me ask you this, Worry, because you're one of the people on the panel that hasn't answered this yet. Do you think The Last of Us 2 is coming out this generation or no?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to come out like it did last generation, where Last of Us, the first one, came out at the end.
Yep.
And then you got the HD remaster on the PS4. So I do think it'll come out.
I think it's coming out. Now, here's the reason I say that. Just yesterday or the day before yesterday, Druckmann came out and said, "Hey, make sure you go get your PS, the Last of Us 2 theme and your Ellie themes." And I picked it up. I'm a big Last of Us fan. I went and picked it up. Why would he? He's been tweeting out since E3. They did a whole thing at E3 on The Last of Us 2. Now they're giving away themes and they're giving away avatars. There's no way. There's people in the chat that are like, Mooch, you have to understand, The Last of Us 2 is a PS5 game. I'm not saying you won't be able to play it on PS5, but it's PS4.
Hold on, but that doesn't mean it's coming out next year.
No, it doesn't mean
No, it doesn't mean that.
To be clear, because Sean Layden, in the interview where he said there's no PSX, he says, well, next year we have Dreams and Days Gone.
Right.
No mention of Ghost, no mention of Last of Us 2, and to have 2 zombie games come out in the same year, makes no sense.
Well, that's what Worry was saying, and I had said earlier is that what they did in the first one, The Last of Us crap in PS3, it came out like the June before the new console. So why can't it come out in June or May or June of 2020? That's a great.
Well, I mean, it is possible that one of those 2 titles is going to be held back as a PS5 launch title, but I don't think it would be The Last of Us 2. I think out of those 2, it would be Ghost of Tsushima.
That's the one I think goes PS5. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah.
I think they'll still release a version on PS4 since they announced it as a
very
PS4.
possible crap. Very possible.
I mean, yeah, there is a huge install base to buy it versus a brand new console at launch.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all interesting stuff. I think it's all good. I think no matter what you look at, the PSX that they've had over the years or the XO, it's kind of like Worry, Xbot, Boom, and Crap have been saying. It really is a fan service. I do want to kind of get into a game that I know everybody on the panel is loving. Worry jumped into the panel on the pre-show, and he's like,
I can't wait.
Are you guys playing Forza? Because Forza is fucking beautiful.
Let me know when I can talk about this.
Go ahead, buddy. You start, because I want to go from you right into Alan.
I've been incredibly down on Xbox. I've been like very disappointed. And when something like Forza Horizon comes out, and I've played it for an hour, it just came today. I ordered the Steelbook edition. What is it? The Ultimate edition that comes with Steelbook. Okay, I played it for an hour. Okay, when you talk about first party, and you usually talk about polish and Sony's first party and how good they are, this game stands toe to toe with anything they released. I'm not saying that to be fanboyish. I am very happy that they have a studio that can create this kind of quality, because this game is insane.
Yeah.
And I've only seen it for an hour. It is so polished. It is so beautiful. There's so much content that it got me excited again. And if they can do this, Playground Games can do this, what is their next project going to be like? It's very, very exciting. And it's nice to see that they went from Inside Xbox, which I was talking about before, about it being the best Inside Xbox for me personally that I've seen. The others have been pretty bad. And the way that they drive their first party Forza Horizon, the way they demoed it, the way they showed it, the way that they drove the excitement, and then the release of the game, and then it being so polished, this is all they have to do. This is a template that they can follow with any first party game. And as long as they do that, and that quality is there the way it is with this, then there's no problem.
Oh, now let me. Go ahead, Xbox. Because I want to.
Well, I was going to say, Worry about with everything that you just said, because you were right on the money with all that. What I think is a real gem with what Playground is doing with Forza Horizon. You look at the popular games today, and basically games as a service. Fortnite, PUBG, even Call of Duty is dipping in on the battle royale thing, and stuff like that. And what Playground did was they're really putting this out as a game as a service. I love seeing kind of like the daily activities, the weekly activities, things that will keep people engaged in this game a lot longer. They're going to switch up kind of like the showcase events and put different cars and have them in different seasons and stuff like that. They are really going to stay there with this title and refresh the content and give more content. And I think that is one of the main things. That's one of the main engines that's really going to drive this game with everything that you just said, Worry.
All right, but here's another point. I'm not a games as a service guy or player, but I think what this shows is that they can make a game that caters to single player, because you can play Forza Horizon by yourself and play it forever.
Yep.
It caters to single player extremely well. It caters to co-op extremely well. It caters to multiplayer extremely well. If they can do this with this level of quality, because very few games cater to all three of those very well. They only do one or the other, or two really good and one really bad. This template that Forza Horizon 4 shows is that they can create not only a great game for a person who wants to play by themselves, not only a great game for a person that wants to play with one other person or two other people, or a person who wants to go balls to the wall, multiplayer, competing with millions of people all over the place. If they can create this kind of a single-player, multiplayer co-op game with every other first-party IP and have it be this polished, they are golden.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, no, let me take it somewhere else. So you were saying all that, and Alan, I'm going to lead into you in a second. I thought Forza Horizon, and Craps didn't agree with me, but I think he sees where I'm going with all this. Forza Horizon is such a big game. It's so beautiful. It's so polished. They work so hard on this game. I think because Playground is going to go venture out and doing so many other different projects, could you guys see Forza Horizon 4 for the next 2 to 4 years instead of coming out Forza Horizon 5 in 2 years? Couldn't you see them? Because now they have dailies and they have weeklies and they have Drivatar things to collect for your car. They've made this almost like this MMO car game. But Worry's right. You could also play it single player and enjoy it. How amazing would it be if this is an ever-evolving game where they don't necessarily need to make a Forza Horizon 5? They can keep adding content to it, right, while they allow their staffers and their programmers and their artists to work on these other projects. Does that hold water?
I think that'll happen, but I still think you need that new game eventually to keep people, moving forward and stuff like that. But I do think that it'll last a lot longer than Forza Horizon 3 did. And I think that's smart because it gives them now. This is the problem where you have, people like to scream about Halo, Gears, Forza. And the reason why these games, and this is just my opinion, the reason why they're so fatigued is because they haven't created anything else to sort of alleviate the pressure of those titles having to carry all that weight. So now that Forza Horizon 4 is so big and they can take their time and update the content, they have a cushion now to where they can develop.
That's how I
else.
feel. Exactly, Worry.
I think we're going to get a Forza Horizon 5.
Oh, yeah, we will. But I think it'll be a lot longer than the time between 3 and 4.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing here, Mooch. Like I
don't know.
I think it might be a year longer. I don't think it'll be 2 years longer. So we might go like the next. It might be 3 years until we get Horizon 5 instead of 2. 2
well,
years.
but you're riding with me here. You're riding with me here, Alan. That's what I'm saying. I think that this is a situation where Playground can continue to add content to this massive world they've created. Everyone's already said. Listen, if you listen to everybody's review on Forza Horizon 4, they started out with, I didn't think they could beat Forza Horizon 3. That's how good Forza Horizon 3 was.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Right? So my whole thing is I think that you're going to eventually you plateau. Why plateau? You don't have to. You have a beautiful game right now. Keep adding to it.
Well, I think that it's the same. And I gave this example yesterday. It's like Destiny, right? Couldn't they just keep doing dailies and weeklies there? But no, they had to come out with a Destiny 2.
But Destiny went 3 years.
Well, no, it was originally supposed to go 2, though. They wanted a new game every 2 years.
And that's my point. Yeah. They didn't.
But
here's what you're forgetting.
We're so far behind.
Right. But here's what you're forgetting. They already have a template for Destiny. You're talking about a studio, Playground Games, making a brand new IP. So if they go 3 years now instead of 2 years between the next Forza, that's a whole other year of development for a new IP. So instead of a 3 or 4 year development cycle for a new IP, they've got a 5 year development cycle to make sure that the new IP is great.
Let's also be clear that they're working on Forza probably with a 100-man team and some term 10 as well. So it's not really impacting the Fable or new IP that they're working on at all.
It depends on how many of the talented people that they've pulled off Forza to work on that crap. That's what I said to you yesterday. I think a lot of the talent are the Forza guys.
The new studio was specifically for the Fable stuff, right? Like the Forza guys are Forza guys. Like they're not going to have. I don't think they're going to have a guy that's going to. That's designing cars or whatever, and then go design. They're bringing in people to do that. It's like they've hired people.
So, Alan, hearing both sides of the coin, where do you land?
So I've kind of been,
like as I've been saying to you guys, there is kind of that idea we might not see a Forza 8 next year. Turn 10 are committed to updating Forza Motorsport 7. Yeah. That game's getting a big update next Tuesday, another big update. And then Horizon 4, a lot of post-launch stuff. You're going to see multiple expansions. You're going to see new content every week. Like, it is, I think, getting to a point where next year could potentially be
a year off or another type of Forza game, and then that would ultimately put us into a 3-year development cycle. At this stage, it's hard to be certain. It's hard to be certain. They could come out and surprise us with another Forza game next year. I wouldn't like to make a bet on anything yet, though, because I feel like it could go either way. It really could go either way.
Yeah, well, it doesn't look like Motorsport's being made, so
yeah, they've said they're not working on Motorsport 8 yet. They said that was as of July. That was said.
I hope they don't make a third Forza franchise. I don't think that would be a smart move.
It's hard. It's hard to know. Like, it really depends on what the game would be, unless they were to do some kind of follow-up to Project Gotham Racing, like an arcade track race.
See, I just think that Forza Horizon has so much content that you really don't need another racer in your stable.
Well, here's the thing. Also, you've got Game Pass. They need fresh content in there often. Yeah. So just taking any kind of extended time off, I don't think really works out well.
Yeah. Now the thing with next year is, like, they could do a lot of updates for Motorsport 7, a lot of expansions, and the same thing for Horizon 4, and that would kind of carry Forza fans through that year quite well, and then bring us into 2019 or 2020. It'll be when we'd get that Motorsport 8, and possibly with a new console at the same time. It's, as I said, it's hard to know. I wouldn't like to bet on either. I wouldn't like to bet on it because it could really go either way.
What should a lot of people know right now, Alan? Getting back to that, those are all the what ifs. What about the things we do know about Forza Horizon 4? There's so much great stuff. I'm seeing a lot of people that own Game Pass going out to buy this anyways. Even not only buy the $60 version, they're buying the Ultimate Edition.
Yep.
I mean, Alan, this is the first time I watched the clips. I watched enough of the Inside Xbox to see it. I mean, they're doing things like timed events. They're doing things like the Halloween event. These are things that keep myself personally, who's not a crazy Forza fan, coming back for more.
Yeah, and these are very games as a service style mechanics.
Yeah,
like they're committed to really like supporting this game, and it's going to evolve, I think, quite a lot over the next few months. Like, even at the end of the month, they're adding a race route creator where you're going to be able to where essentially you're going to be able to make your own custom race events. They can be up to 40 miles long and share them with the community, or you can download ones that other people make, and there could be all kinds of race events. And we saw what that tool did to GTA Online. That tool was in GTA Online where you could make your own race events, and it has a thriving community on that game. And now it's going to be in Forza Horizon, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting.
Hey, not to cut you off, but crap, I was playing Forza Horizon 3 a few weeks ago with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we saw a race, and it said PS4 sucks Yoshida or something like that by the Crap Gamer, the route that you created.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah. Crap's got a couple of them in that game.
Yeah, I got a couple of zingers in there for sure.
Yeah, the person I was with was dying. They're like, we have to play that.
Yeah. Like the PS4 Super Sucks Rally or something.
That was it. That was it. PS4 Super Sucks Rally or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're good. Like all that blueprint functionality with discovering events that your friends have made and the community have made. They've improved that a lot in Horizon 4 already, and they're going to add the race route creator at the end of the month. They're going to add a new Horizon storyline as well.
And I like that you could put a little message up above your car, almost like you're tweeting someone.
Yeah, quick chat. Quick chat's great.
Right.
You can find someone in the shared world and say hi to them, compliment their car.
I think
whatever it may
one
be.
of the few gripes I have is all the character avatars are real douchey looking.
Yes, yes, I did notice that.
Skinny jeans all the way.
Like my guy had skinny jeans on and shit, and there's not even that many options for
I
non-skinny
just
jeans.
picked the default woman that they had checked off.
Yeah.
With the frizzy hair.
Yeah,
The
I
only
was just
Italian-looking character looks like one of the Beatles.
Yeah,
right.
like,
You know,
I'm like, why they make all the characters douchey looking?
Yeah.
That's it would be nice to have a character creator almost, right?
So
yeah.
But that's the thing. They could evolve that stuff in the future. They could introduce new characters. They're going to introduce new clothing items.
They're going to have all the avatar collectibles, the hat, the coat. You're going to be dressing that person up that you have as you picked as your avatar. You're not even going to recognize that person in about 3 weeks if you're playing the game steadily.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, that and not just that, but when you're blasting by somebody at 175 miles an hour, I don't know if you got your nose pierced or you don't. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter at that point.
It is very games as a service / Fortnite like
you
Well,
know,
good for them
mechanic.
to do
you know
that
what I
because
mean?
let me tell you
That's
something.
what's going on right now.
Yeah, but you know what, Xbox?
Let me-
That's a good thing because someone like me who doesn't feel like doing 65,000 laps, you know, that's something that gets me to come back to these games is to be able to, whether it be dress the avatar, get the car, like all kinds of different decals.
Do you think this is a good idea? I was thinking about this, but I'm not too sure. Maybe it would sort of make the game less about driving. But if they introduce those new avatars that are coming out, if they introduce that and you're able to import your avatar into the game, and then they have a hub world where you can drive in with your car,
Yes.
get out with your avatar and sort of walk into like a club or something like that.
Do you mean
Like
the Xbox?
PlayStation Home?
Do you mean the
Well,
Xbox avatars?
I don't mean like PlayStation Home, but I mean something where along lines where you can get together before you go out on a race, set it up, talk, show off your avatar, then get back in your car and go back out into the world. Is
Like
that
a
something that
common
would be
area,
interesting?
kind of like the tower in Destiny.
Like a
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, so you're trying to say like you want a car meet in the game. It's funny you mention that because in the last Forza 7 update they did introduce a meetup feature where they kind of have some stuff that you can't get out of the car, but they kind of have that idea is there. And I think with Horizon 4, they haven't done like a dedicated meetup thing because you are in the shared world. You could just meet up with your friends and have a car meet anywhere on the map that you want. I think the thing with the did you mention that you wanted them to import your Xbox Live avatar?
Yeah, the newer ones.
This might not go down well with the panel. I'm not massively fond of the styling of those avatars. I'm not either.
I don't think they'll fit the game.
I'm not really into them, and I don't think they would fit the game. I think in that circle, I think what I'd prefer to do is just introduce more characters into Forza Horizon 4, or just allow you to kind of like make your own with a character creation tool.
Right.
I don't think the Xbox avatars would fit too well into it.
But do you think it would be a good idea to allow you to get outside the car in a sort of club atmosphere?
Yeah, I think so. Like you can do it already in Forza Vista.
You can get outside of the car and walk around?
Yeah, if you go into Forza Vista, you can get.
I mean, in third person, not first person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about third person. Like, I get the idea of like showing off your character.
Didn't they dabble with this thought? It's not what Worry and I were talking about, but they dabbled with it in Forza Horizon 3. Remember when you show up to an event, you get outside of the car, you walk
Forza
around.
4, I think.
I think it was 4.
Forza Motorsport 4 because they had Connect. You could walk around it with Connect.
Well, yeah, you can still do that with the controller in Horizon 4 and in Motorsport 7 and all the Forza games in the Forza Vista mode. You can still walk around your car and look under the hood or open the door and get inside the car.
I think what Worry is saying is like, say you and a crew of people go to a parking lot somewhere, like to be able to get out and kind of socialize and like guide somebody to a part of your car,
right? Or even just you all have a club, you have like a building where you.
That's what keeps you interactive, right? That's what keeps you wanting to keep making your character look better, your car look better.
Absolutely, yes. That's the whole point of being able to, I mean, listen, I know I don't know how far you got, Mooch. I'm about maybe 2.5 hours into it. I haven't really unlocked a lot.
I'm about the same, 2.5.
I am jelly of you guys
I
will play Tuesday.
There is so much to do with this particular character to make him or her your own.
Yeah, you can. There's enough out there.
Skinny jeans,
emo hats,
holding an In-N-Out burger.
Colors of skinny jeans.
Hey, crap! Just give me your address. I'll send you a pair of skinny jeans so you can wear them while you're playing the game, man.
I'll pass on that. The first thing I did was drop the skinny jeans, man. I was like, yeah, what the hell are they doing here, man?
He's in his skivvies now.
My character looks douchey enough as it is.
That's great. Alan, what's a couple of things that the audience should definitely know about this game that maybe isn't covered on the 2-minute IGN review?
Okay, so one of the things, because I did look at their review, I don't believe they mentioned the team adventure mode that's in the game. So it's kind of like a competitive mode where you can make your own team with your friends or go in online and take on other teams. And there's like various different league divisions. And as you progress into different divisions, you unlock new rewards. And there's a bunch of like rare Forza Edition cars and rare clothing items and emotes and horns and all that kind of stuff is all there. As you go up the ladder, you'll unlock all that cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think Team Adventure is definitely something worth checking out. The other thing you might not be aware of is clubs are back in Horizon 4. They were in Horizon 3, capped at 1,000 members. In Horizon
4, they're now capped at 2,000 members, and they're integrated into Xbox Live clubs. So if you make a club in Horizon 4 or join a club in Horizon 4, you'll also be part of that club on Xbox Live, and you can kind of chat there and share screenshots and all that stuff, like everything an Xbox One club allows you to do today. So I believe that's the first game to actually have Xbox Live clubs integration, like, built straight in. So yeah, like there's like a lot of different things to dive into. There's a lot of cool stuff, and I obviously discussed that in my all of my review that I released this week.
What did you wind up giving it, Alan?
I gave it a 10
Nice.
because I
Strong.
thought the game is just
Well, wait,
Brilliant.
Alan, let me just put you under the hot seat for a second, Alan. So whenever you give a 10, and you're not one to just give a 10 willy-nilly. So I appreciate and respect your opinion. But remember when you and Xbot were having a great conversation a few episodes back, and you guys were really kind of digging down into the whole Forza Motorsport 7. And there was a lot of issues, and you were very transparent with everything that you knew, and it was great. The audience really kind of enjoyed that. So to give things a 10, right? I mean, we always say this. Like, usually when someone says 0 to 10, there's no one ever really gives anybody a 0. Nobody usually ever gives anything a 10. What would you say? And this is, by the way, this does not retract from your 10 out of 10 at all. But what is something that you were playing and you kind of went, that's something I wouldn't have done. Doesn't kill anything for me, but I wouldn't have done it like that.
Okay.
The achievement super grindy.
There's two things. There's two things. The first one is at the start of the game, in the little 10-minute sequence thing, one of the things you do is you drive a Ford Rallycross car in a forest against motocross bikers. Everyone's done it. It was the E3 demo, all that. They reused that sequence as one of the showcase events later in the game. And it's the exact same bit of gameplay again. So there's only 5.
It's not bigger or anything. It's the exact.
It's not
same.
bigger. It's the exact same. There's only 5 showcases in Horizon 4, and that is one of them. It's reused from the start of the game.
But you don't play through the whole thing though when you do that little bit at the beginning.
You do. That's the whole showcase.
Is it just playing that whole thing, thread the needle or whatever it is?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
gotcha.
the same thing. So,
Which was one of the most beautiful parts of that whole game.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. The showcase event's brilliant. I think it's nice. But I was a little almost it's a little anticlimactic that they kind of reused that again, but it's still a good event in the game, don't get me wrong. The other little thing, the other little niggling I have is with the quick chat feature. So you can have 4 phrases set that you can access on the D-pad. That's great. Let's say you're talking to someone and you need to access a phrase that you don't have assigned to your D-pad.
Okay.
You have to pause the game, go onto the quick chat menu, click which button you want to reassign, then find the phrase in a huge list, click the phrase you want, back out of the pause menu, and then use that phrase. And by the time you've done all that, the person you were talking to is probably driven away.
Drove away.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 little gripes. I mentioned them in my review. They were not big enough to change
No, that's not
the score
game
because
changing.
like Mooch, at the end of the day, if these are the 2 things I'm worrying about, that just shows how brilliant the game is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And as a fan, I am going to find those little niggling issues.
So here's my question to Worry and the rest of the panel. Worry, I'll put you on the spot first. So is Forza Horizon, because I know Alan's the answer to this already without even asking him, is Forza Horizon something that you could say is a platform or console seller? Is that something that pushes consoles?
Are you asking me that?
Yes.
Are you asking me if Forza Horizon 4 pushes consoles?
Do you think that this game it's the first game in 2 years to get a 90+ meta for Xbox?
For Xbox.
Okay. Do you think this is enough for them to kind of spark interest, or is this, and when I use the word niche, that's not fair. It's not fair because this game sells tons of copies. But is it something that you have to be in the know? Or is this something when people are at GameStop or they're walking by it, they go, I got to buy an Xbox right now?
It's hard to say that when it comes to something like a racing game. I think like a role-playing game, an action-adventure game with a main protagonist is easier to sort of, push and market.
Wrap your mind around, yeah.
But like I said, for me, this stands head and shoulders with the best that Sony first parties put out. in terms
I
of
agree.
quality, in terms of content, in terms of graphics, in terms of everything. It's just an open world racer.
Right.
For me, it sparked a lot more interest and a lot more excitement. But as far as like an entire market of people going out and buying a console on the holidays, I don't know. I don't know enough about that to say that it's going to sell a console. I think something like a Spider-Man for the holidays would sell a console.
Right.
I think Forza Horizon is I probably won't be popular, but I think the quality of the game is better than Spider-Man. But I
Agreed.
don't think it's going to sell.
And well said.
The console.
Well, it's worth keeping in mind that Horizon 3 did end up selling more than 10 million units.
Right. It's going to sell. I'm not saying it's a bad game at all.
And that was before Game Pass existed. So it's like now that Horizon 4 is going to be on Game Pass, I see them pushing towards 15 million and even beyond. I think it's going to be a very, 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 very successful title for Microsoft.
Well,
I definitely think it'll sell consoles because when they had the Hot Wheels expansion last year, they did a fantastic Xbox One S bundle where they included a copy of Horizon 3 and the Hot Wheels
The
DLC.
Hot Wheels,
They sold so many of those bundles at Christmas. It was the hot Christmas present that year. They sold so many of them. And this year, they're doing great Forza bundles. If you get the Xbox One S version, you get Horizon 4 included. If you get the Xbox One X version, you get Horizon 4 and Forza 7 with the console. That's pretty cool.
You know, I gotta give a shout out to the Don here because earlier today on Breakfast with Boom, I believe the Don he didn't say any numbers, but he said the same thing. He said Forza Horizon 3 sold consoles as well, and also I think it'll do incredibly well across the pond. If you look at it, it is in Britain. Not only that, but over there, quality racing games will sell hardware as well. It is big over there. I have a lot of friends on like Xbox Live who have played past iterations and stuff, and they tell me how huge a good racing game is over there in Europe. So I think it's going to do really well over there. And if Horizon 3 sold hardware, sold consoles, then I don't see why with Horizon 4 being that much bigger, that much more content in the game, what we're looking at in terms of graphics, the 60 frame per second option, and everything that's included in Forza Horizon 4 is just another giant step up from Forza Horizon 3. I don't think like we would do it any justice by saying it won't do something that the previous iteration did.
What I think is funny is I want to ask Senor Boombastic Boom, what is the deal? What got you? I mean, you've made a couple of clear statements in the past few weeks that, the running, not a joke, but the running like slogan for you was he always buys everything. And then you said, right, he said this summer, he said, I'm taking a step back. I'm going to analyze exactly what I want to play, and I'll make a decision in that fashion on what I want to put my time toward. I knew you were going to be a Forza Horizon 4 customer, but what made you pick up the Ultimate Edition? And I'm wondering if what you're going to say right now is also what a lot of people in the chat are contemplating tonight before they hit the buy button. What made you buy a $100 game instead of, you already have Game Pass?
Right. I would have technically got it for the $10 a month. The reason, the simple reason is the value that you're getting for the $100 edition. You say $100, like, my God, what value are you getting? You see, and Alan, I want to reiterate his point. In the past, you didn't get the expansions in this, $100 bundle, because I recall when Blizzard Mountain came out, I'm like, okay, a new expansion. I go to download it, and it says you have to buy it. I'm like, well, wait a second. I have the $100 edition. This is insane. And no, it didn't come with it. And this is the first year that everything is included, including those two expansions.
Absolutely.
And the value, I mean, look, if you look at it, the game is $60, right? $65.01 if you walk into GameStop, Walmart, whatever, right? So for $35 more, you're going to get 2 expansions. And those expansions are going to be minimum $15 a piece. So that's $30. You're up to $95, right? And then you have
the VIP. It's
the
all,
VIP is $20. The car pass.
That's 2 new cars every week they're gonna give you.
Yeah, so I
You
mean,
get the Formula Drift car pack and the Best of Bond,
Bond
car,
yes,
which is brilliant.
Buy it. buy
So
it.
wait, please, I mean, Clowns, I want to get to what you, because I know you and Assassin have been playing the shit out of it too.
Really
But I
went
do
to
want
one-
I want to ask Alan. Alan, when it comes to the Bond cars, because I've got the Bond cars, are they just gonna? Is it gonna play the Bond music when we play those races? Do we get to see them run over the ice and be able to handle better because those cool gadgets that come out on the car, or is it just literally we have the Bond, the year and model of those cars, and we just have them in our reservoir to use?
You know, there's no weapons or anything. If you watch
No,
Inside
no
Xbox,
weapons. I just mean like
it's just the cars.
Yeah, so they don't have the music in there because that would be a separate licensing thing.
right.
But the gadgets of the cars, you can go into the Forza Vista mode and look at those gadgets up close. You can also get the Wet Nelly, have the proper submarine and drive it around and drive it in the water. You can't go underwater, but you can drive it on the water.
Okay.
So that is in there.
Do you think it would be a good idea to be able to get out of the car, and once you're out of the car, you play FortNite?
Wow. They already got you doing stupid Fortnite dances.
That's awesome. Great idea, Worry.
Yeah.
I just think so basically, what is the gist when it comes down to the Bond cars? It's just you get the cars basically.
You get the cars, yeah, and you can like I already know people who are like recreating the movie chases and stuff like that with their friends. And of course you get some of the cars have the some of the gadgets, and you can like the interiors of the car are all like properly replicated. All that good stuff is there, and yeah, I like it. I think it's a nice car pack.
Well, let me ask Clowns. Clowns, I know you're muted right now, but I know you come unmuted. Clowns, you and Assassin have been playing the absolute shit out of this game. And if what is your take on it? Because I know you. Here's the thing: Alan's got a tremendous number of hours into it. I would say probably crap. Then me, Worry, and Boomer in the same category. Xbox wait until Tuesday, but I know you and Assassin have a shit ton of hours. What's your take on it, Clowns?
I'm loving this game, Mooch. I think the Ultimate Edition is worth every penny. For anybody on the fence, you get so much stuff with it, like Alan
Absolutely.
has alluded
Get the
to.
Ultimate Edition.
Yep, and what Worry's alluded to. I mean, the game is just beautiful. And there's so many things about the game that we personally love. For example, one where the seasons change and the sound's different underneath the car. You can go on top of water in winter when it's iced out. I mean, this thing, the season change is huge for us as Forza fans because we didn't think they could get any better, but they actually got so much better in this one.
Yeah. Now, and listen, Assassin and you, honestly, Clowns, I like that you guys are critical. Crap says you might be the most critical guys on Twitter, and I kind of dig it, right? What is something you and Assassin are saying might not be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but still doesn't really, because I know you guys would still give this thing a 90+ regardless. What's kind of getting under your skin a little bit about the game? Is there any negative that's pissing you and Assassin off?
As far as for me, no negatives yet. I haven't found anything to nitpick on this game, and I did
Crap,
look
you
for
taking
it.
note of this crap?
I looked for stuff to nitpick, but Assassin did nitpick on something, and I can see his point. I mean, there's two sides to this. He gets annoyed with the mixer influence on the watching because there's people that do Forza farm streams right now, and you just sit in there all day with the tabs like down, and you're gonna get XP like 6,000 for every hour, and there's people that accumulate like 500,000 before the game even launched in the Ultimate Edition.
So what are they doing to kind of get extra XP?
They did that if you watch the Inside Xbox as well too. You gain some XP for Forza.
I don't want to say his name in here, but I'm sure.
No, that's all right. No, just say the circumstance. Just the circumstance.
But there's a dude that's from Russia, and he got access to the game super early. And even before we got our press copy, the kid was on the the screen. The intro screen, I want to say. I think that's what it is, the intro screen. And he just kept his stream muted, and he was running it for like 212 hours by the time I looked at it. And people were just in there earning XP since September 21st.
Whoa.
Just massive XP, man. One dude logged in, he had like 40 super wheel spins.
Now, see, myself personally, I don't think even if you have 40,000 super wheel spins, that doesn't really affect me feeling like I missed out on anything. I don't.
Yeah, it's not gonna give anyone like advantage or anything. All it just does is it speeds up your progression.
Yeah.
that is one of the things about the game. Anything you do Forza Horizon 4 related will earn you progression, whether you're racing, whether you're exploring, whether you're smashing boards, whether you're taking photos, making paint jobs, sharing tuning setups, all that stuff. If you're streaming the game to Mixer, or if you're watching Mixer streams and you have your Microsoft account connected, that all earns you influence, which is the game's XP system. And at the end of the day, if you want to go into someone's live stream and keep it open in the background because you want influence, then that's your decision.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, Mooch, I want to say, like, on the flip side of this, I like it because I just sat there and I, interacted with the community there, watched the stream. I mean, he had a good thing going. Like something like 1,500 viewers. He got 2,600 subscribers on Mixer. I mean, I don't think it was a bad thing. It created hype for the game. So for me and Xbox perspective, it's driving traffic to Mixer, and it's driving traffic and interest in the game.
Yeah, somebody
haven't even gotten it.
Vogel in the chat says I have 466,000 watching that guy. So whatever it is, I mean, people are doing it. It is what it is. I mean, if it brings more attention to the game and doesn't hurt people's gameplay or their progression themselves, who cares?
It just
speeds up your progression.
I had 10 super wheel spins when I was playing. I watched the Mixer thing and all that stuff, and have the so I don't see a problem. That's not a negative at all. For me, the only negative that I saw was that they really make you grind for the achievements in this one, whereas you didn't really have to do that previously.
What do you mean, crap? Like, what are they asking you to do?
They give you just 5s and 10s here and there instead of every time you completed a Horizon thing, you used to get 20 or whatever. Now it's like 5 for this, 10 for this. It's like really they really nickel and dime you with that stuff. So
okay, I thought 3 was like that too, but I could be wrong.
I will say, crap, from what I've looked at the achievements, I think it'll be easier to 100% this game than 3, because the issue with 3 was if you want to 100% it, you had to go through every single championship. That took ages. Whereas with
I don't care about 100% it. I just like when I play. By the time I finish it, I like to have my 700-800.
Oh, okay.
Which is the Horizons are super easy at that, right?
Yeah.
Able to get that amount. Yeah.
So it would normally be the last few achievements that'd be really grindy.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think if you put the time into the game, you could actually 100% it very easily.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I'm not a huge online Forza guy anyway, so like a lot of the online stuff I don't really care about.
Oh, do they have a lot of the achievements tied to online?
Yeah, like complete this with per people and do this, and you know what I mean.
Let me ask Crap and Alan, you guys, if you've dabbled in it. Here's what I would like to do. I'd like to say one day, everybody in the panel, everybody that's here right now, let's all meet after the show and let's all have a race. I want to race everybody on the panel. Alan, how easy or hard is that to accomplish in Forza Horizon 4?
Quite easy actually. So if we had like each other all added on Xbox Live as we'd go into the game, we'd be put into the same shared world. Shared world can have up to 72 people. We'd all be put into the same one because it would prioritize each other as friends.
Okay.
But even if it didn't, all you just do is you start a convoy, you invite people to it like you do with any other game. Once you join the convoy, the host can go up to any of the race events in the game, start a race, set the car restrictions to whatever they want it to be, set the season to be whatever they want it to be, set the laps, whatever they want, and then go for it. That's it.
Okay. No, that's good. That's what I want to do. I actually am. I'm kind of more excited about playing. Like I want to play a race that already exists against like Worry, and not just play his ghost character, his Drivatar. Right.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Yeah. No, of course.
You know what's a great thing to do in Forza? I've done it in 3 and I'll do it in this one. Go into the game with one other person, a friend of yours, and just drive off the map somewhere. Find a stunt track, do it. Just drive around and have a ball.
Can you do the stunt track and compete, Worry?
What I used to do in 3 is I would drive around with a friend and you'll see like on the map, there's a stunt area. And then you'll both do the stunt, and you have to get like a certain amount of feet for a stunt. So you have to get 600 feet on a jump. You'll do that until you get it, and then you'll unlock it, and the person doing it will unlock it too, and get the experience for it. So you can both do those things together. You don't have to just go in and do set objectives. You can literally just go in, make a left, and go. And do whatever you see.
See, now that's what I'm talking about, where you've taught me more in 5 minutes than I've known all these years. That's what I've been wanting to do, is to be able to enjoy this open world terrain when you have an awesome like I get these, you get these awesome cars, you make these awesome graphics on it, right? You make all these designs.
Mooch, I literally spent
nobody.
Yeah, I literally spent in Forza Horizon 3. There was this airport area, and at
Yes,
the end
I know
of
what you mean.
At the end of the airport, it became terrain, and if you drive up the
Yes.
terrain, there's like a little bump in the hill, and if you start at the end of the airport and get up speed and go off and hit that bump, you launch literally the thousands of feet up into the air, and I would do that for hours with a friend, and just seeing how far we can get. Stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that, which isn't really like built into like getting experience or something to do with quote unquote the game. But little things like that you can do. Just get in the game and make a left or a right and go.
Absolutely. In Horizon 4,
Awesome.
there's a huge bridge by the Scottish Highlands. It's called the Glenfinnan Viaduct, and it's actually a train track. So there's a train that goes on that bridge. One of the things I like to do is try and get your car wedged on that bridge.
Right. Little
And when
things
the
like
car
that.
comes, or when the train comes, sorry, it'll push you along, and then eventually you'll just go flying across the map. And it's brilliant. And in fact, we did it a few days ago, me and a couple of friends, and what happened was we went so fast that when the car landed, the high quality texture asset of the 1X, it hadn't loaded in. It had not loaded in yet. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to do things like that.
There's a
And,
ton of things that you can do in that game that have nothing to do with actually playing the game.
yeah,
It's an open world game. That's the
Right.
great that they've
It's
been
open
saying.
world
This is like not just another everybody. It's another Forza, and it's not.
No,
it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
And
it's not.
remember,
So.
And remember, all this stuff that we're talking about here, it still earns you progression. You're exploring the map.
That's what
That
I'm
earns you
saying.
progression.
So,
Like-
Mooch, you're going to get experience even for just goofing around and having fun like that.
That's what
That's
I
how
love.
the first Forza Horizon was. I used to just do donuts in a field, hitting
Right.
bumps and stuff. And
Or there was something that I didn't even know about, but it was called I think it was crop dusting or something like that, where I went through a field and I mowed down every single
Yes.
blade of grass in the field with the car, and then all of a sudden I get like experience for crop dust. I'm like, well, I don't even know how did that happen? I just
man,
did
this
it.
NFL game day on PS1 that was great. Man, I'm tearing this thing up this whole time. Man. I've been playing this game day.
Speaking
game,
of that,
man.
Rocco,
You
great
know,
segue.
no, this ain't in 4K. I think it's like 240p or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's 112p.
Yeah.
Alan, did you have something to add?
I just wanted to quickly add, Mooch, because you were saying earlier about how you want us to race together and stuff like that, and how easy it is to set up. Well, the other option, I mentioned this kind of earlier on the podcast, is you can also do team adventure, and then we'd be racing together as a team against another team. So that's another option that's in the game.
Right.
Yeah, Microsoft is all about those options, man. They're like, hey, put options in, and then put more options on top of those.
Somebody in the chat goes, "Why aren't you shouting, Mooch?" I said, "Well, it's a calming edition, but you never know what's going to happen." I want to take Craft's PS Mini and kind of segue that over. It was a great segment on Forza Horizon 4, guys. I do recommend you try it. I think everybody in the panel loves it.
Great.
Sony, it's great. Sony has
It's the
allowed
racing game of our existence.
Yeah, it's the reason I told you. It's the reason a rectangle pedal was invented.
Game of the century.
Sony allowed crossplay this week, guys. This is kind of historic. And I think it's something we do need to talk about because it's the first time that you being on a console with one particular game right now, but it seems like it will expand, we can all play together and not have to be on the same console. It is kind of a historic thing. That being said, I don't want to just open that bland statement out because we all know that, been there, done that this past week. One thing we've been pretty critical on this show, and I think Craft's been doing it on Xbox Nation as well, is saying, okay, so Xbox came out and was pretty critical on Sony to say, you need to allow crossplay. This isn't fair. This isn't consumer friendly. Well, they finally caved. And now the other side is saying, okay, so when are you going to remove your paywall and allow free-to-play games actually to be able to play without Xbox Live Gold? And I agree. That wall, take that wall down, Mr.
We're
Spencer.
breaking down walls. I remember Phil telling me that years ago.
I want to see David Hasselhoff singing when they tear the wall down with a jacket.
He should. I think they should recycle Reagan's voice.
Yeah,
Mr. Spencer, tear down that wall.
Tear down that wall.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, what do you guys think about this?
Well, Sony invented crossplay this week.
They did. Thank you, Sony, for inventing crossplay. You guys, without Sony, where would we be? I mean, honestly, come on.
Yeah, they've invented literally everything. I think I think if every other platform is doing no online subscription required to play Fortnite online, then I think Xbox should do the same.
Absolutely.
I think because especially since they've been hugely advocating for crossplay and stuff, I do think it would look good for Xbox to kind of come out and say, "Oh, we're not going to require gold membership anymore for free-to-play online games in general."
Right. I mean, with I think it's kind of hard to, and they're right. It's kind of hard to say, allow crossplay. It's the right thing to do, and then sort of just charge for free-to-play games. It's kind of it's difficult to make that argument. Another thing is that with Game Pass, if you pay your $10 and you download a game that includes multiplayer, you then have to subscribe to Xbox Live to use that multiplayer. With PlayStation Now, if you pay your $20 and download a game that includes multiplayer, you do not need to have a PlayStation Plus subscription to use that multiplayer as well.
But there's only a few games, though.
There's only a few games, yeah, but you don't need it, and you don't need to pay for free to play. So I don't think they're going to do that with the multiplayer. But it's really easy to just say, okay, it's free to play. We're not going to charge you.
Right, and I think that here's the thing. Normally, there's the ongoing argument.
Not to cut you off, though. But
no, go ahead.
The problem is it's this constant tit for tat. You know what I mean? Do something good, and then okay, you have to do this. And there's always an argument. There's always but they didn't do this.
But worry in the defense of what's happening right now and what's transpiring, Microsoft brought this on. Their executives came out and tweeted over and over again about consumer.
I know. I've been on Twitter. I know all about Mike Ybarra and his tweets.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, and don't get me wrong. I don't think Mike was necessarily wrong. All I'm saying is, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
You can't say, this is good for gamers and then hush, we're charging for free to play.
Right. And that's my point. That's where I was going to go just before you were saying that, is that if you're going to say Microsoft made the stink, if they just kept their mouth shut and they didn't say anything, guess what? Maybe if they didn't make the push, maybe Sony wouldn't have went free, all in on crossplay, but they made that push.
Have they gone all in though? It's just Fortnite.
Well, that's a big one to go in on. You're talking about 125 million people playing.
The whole reason why they're starting it for that is because basically what's happening there is they're going to have to start allowing that when developers want it, particularly big developers. The whole reason,
like Bethesda, etc.
Yeah, but that even Rockstar's parent company Take-Two was like, nobody is above being consumer friendly, or they'll just get left behind.
Yep, right. They shouldn't have said that. So that I think is why realistically,
and that's true. I mean, that's true, but also like Mooch was saying, you have to be consumer friendly across the board. Then you know what I mean. Microsoft kind of made the stink, so it's not difficult to just say free to play is free. I mean, it kind of seems odd.
They removed the membership requirement for apps, so I could see them doing it for free to play games.
Sure, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it doesn't affect their income. I don't think anybody watch. We're going to allow you to play free to play games for free. Oh my God, Xbox Live Gold just lost 30%. No.
Man, I am tearing up the Browns. Here's my halftime stats, guys. Total offense: 242 yards for me against 59 for the Browns. Passing offense: 157 yards for me, 55 for the Browns.
Guys, tune in next Wednesday to Xbox Nation when Mooch takes on Secrets of Mana on the SNES.
Do you really have the PlayStation 1?
Well, hold on. So what I did was, and I told Mooch this, right? So I went on. I went and bought one of those PSX ones with the thing with the little screen on top.
Screen, yeah.
And I got that and a bunch of games and controllers and all that kind of stuff for less than it cost for a PlayStation Mini. Right. And so I told him, and it just came in. So I was like, hell yeah, I've been actually sitting here playing this damn thing. So yeah. And I got to say, the graphics look shitty.
Yeah. Who would want to play that?
I don't know. Who would want to play that? I don't know. It's I
can see if you got your wisdom teeth pulled today and you were on all kinds of medicine and you were like, I need something to just stare at. That's the only reason I would play that right now.
You should go sit outside the next Gran Turismo event with that and just scream. Who would want to play these?
Who would want to play that? Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to play it.
But I mean, realistically, I do think that, and it's funny because
they both do a lot of. Yeah,
it's a larger story, though, Worry, because the problem is that we really shouldn't. And I know, listen, this is beating a dead horse, so I'm not going to make this an issue. I'm just saying it kind of flirts with the issue. really, Xbox has come out, Microsoft especially Microsoft, and said, Xbox is PC and PC is Xbox.
Oh,
but yet
boy, I know where you're going.
But yet their PC guys play free online. Right. And listen, I'm not going to start that campaign again, even though I think it should be. I think it should be free for us. But now you're saying, wait a minute, now you're making free-to-play games cost $60 a year, and it's kind of nonsense, to be honest with you. And that's where I got to kind of put a flag in the ground and say, wait a minute.
Free-to-play should be free. Yeah. Even though people hate this, those servers and shit that they run aren't free. So
they are for PC gamers.
Well, they are, but I mean, they're not. That's just because what can you do there? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that you really they got you by the balls. But if you look at it, and I was mentioning this earlier today on Twitter, you can go back and play Forza Motorsport 2 on your 360 online. You can play Gears 1 online. Sony it seems like every other month is shutting down all their servers for their games.
You cannot play any Gran Turismo game online that isn't GT Sport. GT Sport's the only one that still has online support. Exactly. And since that game is an always online game, what happens if that gets shut down?
Yes.
What about what Sir X-Man just said in the chat, Crap? What's your take on that about making it saying, okay, you're not going to get rid of the paywall for online gaming?
I think they would lose less by just making it free for free-to-play games.
Yeah.
People, who the hell doesn't have Xbox Live if you have an Xbox to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, you realistically aren't going to lose much.
No, I agree. I do
think it's coming. I think we'll get some kind of announcement probably at XO or whatever.
Yes.
So
yes, I think they're going to. I think it's funny because I think now they have to. Right? I don't think Xbox can go much longer. You've got Nintendo has a Fortnite bundle. Sony has a Fortnite bundle. They have a Fortnite bundle.
And Antonio, Uncharted 2's PS3 is still online because those are peer-to-peer, bro.
Right.
Those aren't no servers. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would never use an Uncharted multiplayer.
Hey, hell, Uncharted 4 isn't even servers, man. Their biggest franchise, and they can't even slap a couple servers together. It's peer-to-peer.
Yeah. But you know what, Crap and Mooch, you know what you could do? On Windows 10, you could play Fortnite for free. Windows 10 family, right, Crap?
Yeah, Win 10 fam.
Win 10 fam.
I'm
all for that.
You should get jackets that say that. Win 10.
You know what? I sold some shirts that said that when people didn't understand sarcasm. They're like, Crap really is a Windows 10 fan. He's Xbox. He loves you, so he's so great. He's so great.
I want to bring this up because while we have Worry on and we have a Pirate Legend on and people that enjoy it, the new Forsaken Shores has come out.
Man, I've been wanting to try this. We need to get a crew together, Mooch.
Who's that snoring?
Me.
Oh, man.
Crap, I don't mind trying it. We always like to go out there and try it. It's worth. Don't knock it till you try it, Crap.
Yes.
But
Worry
me and
likes
Mooch got
single-player
Destiny
stuff,
2
so
to
he
take
doesn't
care
really-
of. Man.
That is true, Xbot. Clowns, you're a Pirate Legend, right? You've been you're like a made man in that game. But you're kind of like Joe Pesci at the end of Goodfellas. What's the deal here, Clowns? Have you and Assassin taken to the shores again as Pirate Legends?
Yeah, man. You know, Mooch, I was really doubting Sea of Thieves right now, and this was the thing I really needed to pick it back up. Okay. As a Sea of Thieves fan, I hopped back in and I played some of this Forsaken Shores, and the interaction with the environment is really cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in this, like the quest changed as well. On these islands, like geysers pop up with water, and you stand on one, you fly up in the air. You got volcanoes that just.
What are the events? What can someone like myself who hasn't played since the last time they had an expansion come out, which is a month and change? What is actually something that I and Crap, if we were to take the boat on tonight and do it, what would we be doing?
You just basically doing a little bit of the story in this, like finding the dead pirates. You get commendations for that. Visiting each of the islands, you'll get commendations for that. And then when you do like 5 Order of Souls and 5 Gold Hoarders missions on these islands as well, because they have special quests for them, you'll get commendations for that.
Okay, now let me go back to Worry. Worry, you were snoring on it. Listen, this has been such a debate on the show since the beginning of the time this came out.
I mean, if you
what's
like
your
it, you
take
like
on
it. I can't. I mean, I don't speak for everyone. I mean,
no, but I mean, just personal opinion. You don't have to speak for anybody.
I just didn't think there was enough game there when it came out. They was doing the same thing over and over again. I was going either to collect a skull and bring it back, I was collecting an animal to bring it back, or I was fighting skeletons and to fight a bigger skeleton to bring the skull back. There wasn't enough there for me. I think graphically it's beautiful. I would love a world like that, a single player game like that, something more to it. But for me personally, there wasn't enough there, and I didn't have a lot of fun beyond just looking at the graphics. And the water was amazing, sure, and I liked the colors, and I did like the graphical style of the game, but there just wasn't enough there for me personally.
So me and Crap, tell me if you agree with this. So take a night, Worry, where you're like, you know what? I don't feel like going and doing 15 of the bases or the base camps in Spider-Man. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm not in the mood to get invested into Tomb Raider right now. I don't want to go and do God of War side missions. Okay. All right. You just want to actually have a couple, and you'll like this because me and Worry are on the same page here. You want to have a couple of nice goose martinis. You want to hang out, have a couple drinks, shoot the shit with your friends that are in the gaming world like we are. And just kind of, that's something that me and Crap have kind of, that's where I've found my peace with this game, because I agree with everything you just said. But if Crap says to me, hey, let's get on there, we'll have a couple of drinks, you get a team of 4, and a couple people maybe hop in the chat just for fun, and we're laughing, there's stupid shit going on, we're kind of just goofing off. Right?
It sounds like to me you're describing a party chat rather than a game.
Correct.
Well, yeah, the game is just part of the fun. You know what I mean? You're going out there having it. Have you done any of the other stuff, Megalodon or, any of that kind of stuff?
I played up until I haven't played past when they got rid of the Kraken and added the Megalodon.
Okay. So there's a lot more stuff. They added the ships and now this stuff.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that. I'm sure it's got an audience. I just don't know if it's for me.
Hell, I don't play it a lot anymore. You know what I mean? There's too much else going on, but it is a game that I can always go back to and just have a good time with. And they do.
I do think that they're supporting it well. Obviously, they're supporting it very well.
Yeah, I think that, and one thing I will say is that came a little bit too late, because I remember me and Mooch talking about this. We interviewed Craig Duncan, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna really support it, but we don't have any plans past this year, so we've got these 3 updates planned. Right. And now since that point in time, they're like, yeah, we've got 5 updates and more next year and this and that. You know what I mean? So they've kind of, it's obviously apparent. Phil Spencer said they were extremely happy with the sales and everything.
Now I said this to Crap when we were having our huge debate, and I haven't, and Xbox has not responded. So they came out, I think it was 2 months after it launched, and they're like 5 million active users or so, or not active, but 5 million people have kind of stopped by and saw the game. We haven't seen any numbers since, and I think that number is probably
it was 3, and then they said 5.
They said 3, then 5, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I knew 5 was the end number. I would, if I had a guess, and I could be wrong, could be dead wrong, I would venture to think that number has gone down quite a bit. And the thing I think is that, they're like, well, they're hiring more at Rare and they're putting more content. I think ultimately what they're providing, and Clowns, that's why I asked Clowns, what are they doing? And he goes, well, Mooch, you're going to go out there, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But it's essentially still going out, grabbing something, bringing it back. And in essence, I think what Worry said, Crap, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay with it. I think it is fun. Me and Crap had some of the most unbelievably fun nights playing this game. But was it the game, or was it more of the party chat?
I think it's the fact that you're just having fun, goofing off, getting drunk.
Absolutely.
But
I'm buying that.
Snake, remember that? I mean, that was kind of fun, right?
Exactly. And here's the thing, though, Mooch. When new content comes out, they'll get the numbers balloon again. I think by the end of the year, they'll announce something about that probably close to 10 million players have played the game.
Right.
Isn't it bigger on PC, though? Isn't it?
No.
I don't think that's the case.
No.
Now here's something funny, just to switch subjects real quick. And guys in the panel, jump in. I just think it's a great week, because to ask where I know where some of these hit Worry like in his wheelhouse. Nintendo Online launched. And $20, right? $20 for the
wheelhouse.
Well, listen, Worry. We're
the Sony Nintendo guy, right?
Yeah, we're from the same in the era of games we played, dude. I know you like Nintendo games. I still have a heart for them. I don't. And Crap, you're not gonna Worry. Put your seatbelt on. Crap bought into it. I might. $20 a year, and you get old games, right? You got it. Yeah. What do you think?
My honest opinion. You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
I think it's terrible.
Why?
I mean, basic things that I did 14 years ago, I can't do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me that I have to use my if I want to talk to somebody on the phone, I'll call them. I just don't understand how you can't have basic, just bare bones features like a party chat system, and I don't think achievements or trophies are a big deal, but you have to have something similar to what other people are offering.
I would play Nintendo much more if they had something like that.
Oh, like you know that 1-up sound when you get the coin in Super Mario, something like that. Every time you get an achievement or a trophy would be amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The virtual games, again, these games just should be there to begin with in the store.
I agree.
You shouldn't have to pay $20 to access games that should be in their store for you to access to begin with. So I don't really think it's good at all. I mean, I like Nintendo games. I buy them for just, I want to play.
Did you grab the controllers, Worry, for $55?
No, I didn't do that. I got a Pro controller because it's a
got a
controller.
Pro controller. Yes, it is.
I like it a lot, but I'm not grabbing the because they only work if you pay for the online. You can't buy them separately.
Right, you have to buy the online. Crap has them, or you ordered them.
Well, I pre-ordered them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool. They're for nostalgia's sake, they're really cool. But I don't think the online. I mean, I don't know if people care enough about online when it comes to Nintendo.
Well, they said over 5 million people have downloaded the app or whatever. So
I gotta say this though, like the Switch is winning. The Switch is winning NPDs. It's doing very well.
Sure.
I have shout out to WRZ Cup for hooking me up with the code. I have Octopath Traveler. The game's fantastic. Like there are good games out there, but at the same time, whenever I talk to somebody who has the Switch, they're like, it's okay. Like
no, they have great
kicking ass. Like
they have great games, but I just don't. For me personally, I mean, I thought that there would be at least because we were building up to this Nintendo Online, and I just don't think that right now there's enough there. Again, I'm in the same boat I was with Sea of Thieves. The game came out, there's nothing in it for me. Not enough there. I don't like it. Can they add to it? Sure, but this is a service, so I'll have to experience it when they add to it. And
what I find funny. So what do you get? Forget the 20 games and the controllers you can buy by being a $20 subscriber per year. What else do you get in Nintendo Online? I mean,
you get multiplayer. You can play those games online with someone. You get the voice chat for, as far as I know.
So wait, Worry, you're telling me that if I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I do have,
yes, you can play.
And
online.
You have it. I can, but if I don't have that, I can't play against you.
No, you need their online service.
Oh wow, they've really okay. So what was free is gone.
You can't even party chat with me with that game. That game doesn't support it right now.
Wow.
So you can't call me on your phone essentially you could call me if you have my number, you can call me on the phone and we can play Mario Kart.
Well, that's easier than their setup that they have, right? Now, Xbot, you've said that this, you don't call it a console, you call it the greatest.
It's the most powerful handheld out there, man.
Right. And I kind of like the way you say that because it really, it's kind of still in last gen as far as technology for the fact that it's advanced in its portability. So go ahead.
This is what's going on with the Switch. And I grew up on Nintendo. The NES was my first system that I personally owned. And seeing stuff like this, I know a lot of people love their Switch. They love the feature to be able to bring it out with them or plug it into their TV. Those types of options. But this just makes me kind of yearn for a classic Nintendo console where they can show that the basic console gaming features that console gamers have come to expect and use on a daily basis, that Nintendo can do it and do it as well. We have not seen that yet. This is evidence of how far back Nintendo is.
Xbox, listen, there's nobody that agrees with you more than I do. However, let me say this much. If me and you are now sitting at the board of directors as part of Nintendo, and somebody walks in and says, we're going to go toe-to-toe with Xbox and PlayStation, and we're actually probably going to do better because our first party is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And I say to you, okay, all we can really do when it comes down to it is split the money into three. Because what's going to happen is you have three of the same system, three of the same multi-plats out there for all the third-party games, right? So what I'm saying to you is what I think Nintendo's trying to do, and I guess you could say it's a success because they're winning NPDs, is to say that they were like, why don't we try something instead of splitting all the money three ways with Xbox and PlayStation, because all we're going to do is enter the space they're in. Why not make this portable device where now they can play the same games, yes, at a lower resolution, but on the road.
Mooch, I hear you, and what you're saying makes sense, but I'm going to have to tell you, this is why you're wrong, brother.
I'm just pretending to be on the board, but I hear you. Go ahead.
Now, you look at the dedication to Nintendo, even through kind of like their darker times with their dedicated groups of gamers. You look at the Wii U. Now, they came out with first party on the Wii U, and no matter how many consoles weren't out there, they were still selling millions of first party games. So if they go with a more classic console with features that everybody on the PlayStation side, on the Xbox side have kind of like come to expect, everything that they're getting from third party and people who adopt that console afterwards, besides the diehard Nintendos, are all extra. It's all stuff that they weren't getting before. So I feel that it would still be in their favor at some point in time, whether it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, because the Switch it's doing well, but it hurts me, man. It hurts me to see Nintendo be so far behind on basic features that console gamers pretty much expect now.
I mean, I'm with you on that.
Well, hold on. Let me say something real quick. I use mine never as a handheld, always as a console.
I don't either. I always use it as a console.
Exactly.
You guys are 2 of 5 people.
I don't think so. I mean, I think the hybrid thing with if they come out with a $500 box that's as powerful as the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 Pro, there's very little interest there.
Why would you say 500 though?
Even $400.
Anywhere between 300 to 400. And
well, the Switch is 300. You think you're going to get a lot more features and power from?
I gave a little bit of a scale there.
I'm just saying, like, okay, let's just say 400 or 450, right? There's very little interest there. People are already ingratiated into this generation and have an Xbox or a PlayStation. That's where they're playing their third parties. If you outprice your core customer base, which a lot of people still associate Nintendo with kids and younger audience. And you start and they're like, okay, a Switch basically is nobody's first choice for a console, right? It's always their secondary console. So that gives them a completely their own audience there. If you have them as a competitor with Sony and Microsoft, like GameCube, right? That's basically what you're going back to, right? The GameCube was more powerful than the PS2, less powerful than the Xbox, but look how poorly it did, the worst out of all of them. So, I mean, the people are very weird when it comes to these things because of the way that Nintendo came out with their consoles, like the Wii U. I think like the Wii should have been an HD console from the get-go, they really do things kind of half-assed sometimes.
Yep.
That is an issue.
But I think the Switch is brilliant because probably surprising to them, the 3DS and that 2DS XL is incredibly selling well.
Yeah.
With the Switch, it started off hot, man. It was on fire. But if you go and you talk, except for you, Crap, maybe you. I never really asked you this question, but a lot of my friends that have the Switch, you know what I hear them coming back saying? We don't really have a lot of games now. I
have like 10 or something, but it's
a complaint now, man. It's the same thing that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I play the Switch. Well. Because I'm an Xbox guy and that's my first console, I played things on Xbox. So it's not really a problem because it's the
I'm not talking about you personally.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying but that just helps my point that people and believe it or not, people like their Switch for these weird little indie games. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to play this or Octopath Traveler."
Traveler or even like Dead Cells. People are saying Dead Cells is a better experience on Switch.
Owners were touting indies when their exclusives weren't coming out at the beginning of the year. If that's what you're getting, all right, that's what you're going to be like, you know what? This is pretty good because I don't really have too much else to choose from here. I'm going to get into it. It's pretty good for what I got on my
Octopath Traveler is good. It's a good game. It's a real throwback to the to that 16-bit era. So I think that they're onto something there.
Listen, here's my thing. I think it comes down to, and I think Crap was saying it, and Xbox, you said the same thing. So this isn't about one versus the other. Yeah. It comes down to the features. And let me tell you what the biggest feature is. People are saying achievements. People are saying chat. Here's my biggest problem. Because the chat and the achievements, and you fill in the blank with whatever you think is missing, one of the things that I love so much, okay, and maybe it's the reason I like the podcast, maybe it's the reason I love social media, is because I love getting on Xbox. I love getting on PlayStation, even for that matter. Like, I got to be honest with you. It was maybe about a year ago, I went ahead and put my PlayStation name out there, and I went from maybe like 50 people to 200 people on PlayStation, and it's been fantastic. It's been much more alive. People writing comments. A lot of them are Xbox guys that also own a PlayStation, but it doesn't matter. The point is that it's become more alive. When I'm on my Switch, and I have a lot of people added that I know have it, because you're just not prone to spark a chat. You're not prone to compare trophies or achievements or any kind of progression system with or compare anything with your colleagues or your friends. My point of the matter is that Nintendo has become this, like, you play Octopath Traveler and you're like, geez, I wonder how far Crap got. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I wonder if Worry's playing this game now. Oh, it doesn't matter.
But you know what's important to remember, though, is that despite not having any of that, it's still winning MPDs before they even announced an MPD.
That's what I'm scratching my head about, Worry.
So because the audience that's buying it doesn't really
care.
I don't want to say care.
They don't.
They're fine with what it's offering, and they like it, so they're buying it.
Because it's their secondary console. I mean, everybody has a Switch.
I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I know a few people who swear it's their first console. I don't see, me personally, it can't be my first console. There isn't enough third party.
Yeah,
on
there's
the system
nothing.
for it to
I
be
mean,
my first
Skyrim,
console.
but I already played through that multiple times.
Well, yeah, and then finally you've got Dark Souls coming out this October. It came out in 2011.
Before they announced online, it was winning MPDs, and after they announced online, it's winning MPDs, and after they launched the online, which I personally think is terrible, they're still winning MPDs. So the audience, the audience responds to what they're doing. Their core responds to what they do. And there are a lot of casuals that respond to what they do.
That's true. That's so true. And I want, Worry, I want to go ahead and make this point.
It's not a bad spot to be in.
No, it's not. Console. No, and even Crap's point, the second console is actually a great point, because if you're everyone's designated number 2, that means you've also purchased it, regardless of the 80 million on PlayStation and the 39 to 40 million on Xbox.
You're the designated driver. You have everyone's keys.
Absolutely. So they're okay with that. But what's funny is that the younger generation, Worry, and I don't know how much you're in tune with this, but I want to bring it up to you. I bring up to the kids all the time. I bought a Switch day one. I bought a Wii U day one. I bought a Wii day one, because I always thought that it would be great to have the kids involved. My kids could give two shits about Nintendo. They just don't care. I mean, so my point being is,
although they can play
are coming
Fortnite,
from our age.
So that's probably pretty big for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to say that, like, I think that
who's buying all these Switches?
Us, our age.
Yeah.
Because I can't listen. I know half the panel. I think Worry's on my team, but everybody else isn't. I was a Nintendo guy, not a Sega guy, and like I just was diehard. You want to talk about console wars? I was all Nintendo. Oh, you were too? All right, Xbox. Yeah. Thank you. There's not many of us.
I was a Sega guy.
You gotta stick together, man.
You know, I don't know. I just think that's my whole thing. So, like, myself personally, if Nintendo comes out with a Switch 2, guess what? Mooch is buying it. I'm all in. Because I play I played the Mario, and Boom, you've played. I asked you, Boom. I go, Boom, what the hell are you playing on your Switch that you keep talking about? He goes, believe it or not, I'm still playing Mario.
Yes, yep,
right.
Believe it, Mario Kart. Obviously, Odyssey is
great,
just absolutely fantastic. Octopath Traveler. I mean, what could you say about the game? It's just phenomenal. I mean,
great.
If you like those type of games,
is it turn based?
What? Yes.
Combat?
It's like basically an old
traditional Worry.
Yeah, an old school Final Fantasy game. Yes, dude. It's really.
I find it that you would. I find where you not loving it would be impossible.
I actually do not like turn based.
Oh, you don't?
No, then this would not be for you.
Oh, okay. Then I guess it's not. I see myself personally. The first 3 Final Fantasies I loved.
Yeah,
it's like random battles. Like you're walking, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're fighting, and then you're done the fight. You walk a foot, boom, another fight.
That was old school. That's not like that.
That was Phantasy Star. That was annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
So it's not like that.
No, it's not quite like that. That's how it was in like Dragon Quest. If you go back to when we were kids. But yeah, no. Realistically, I think that Nintendo surprises me every single time they do this, and they keep winning. And that's my point. back when we were kids, it was like, you kids and your Nintendo. No, it's not the kids. It's us. It's you 30 and 40-year-olds and your Nintendos. But anyways, let me move on to something else. And crap, I kind of want to poke at you at this because mouse and keyboard support coming to Xbox, right? Yeah. This normally would have got crap to stand on a ledge, but I think he's coming around to the fact that it's if you want to use it. But go ahead.
Well,
crap.
I don't. First of all, just like you don't want to cause a panic over this, right? People automatically go. They think, oh man, I can just plug a mouse and keyboard in and start owning people in Call of Duty on Xbox. Nope. Doesn't work that way. A game has to be built and have that enabled. They give developers tools to disable it, enable it, put it in their game. So something that's already out will not be able to use that. I think it's realistically more or less for Microsoft to bring over some of these games like Gears Tactics and some of these games, get these PC exclusives on the Xbox. I think they will do crossplay on stuff like Halo and the next Gears, but I think it's going to be optional completely. I think it's a mistake to actually even offer Halo crossplay. Honestly, other than the campaign, I remember that's what they did with Gears 4 as well. Yes. At first, it was just it was like you play with friends even on PC on the campaign and horde mode, but not competitively because there's an advantage. And then a little bit later, when everybody left the PC version, they're like, okay, PC gamers, we're gonna start allowing crossplay even with PC. You know what I mean? And so, I just keep them separate, and I think they'll be fine. You hear developers say this all the time. There's no way we can allow keyboard and mouse versus controller. It's unfair. They don't want to sync their own games, and the best way to kill their games is to do crossplay with PC keyboard and mouse versus a controller. Right. So they're going to be smart about it. You hear developers say it all the time. Even PUBG is like, no, hell no. We're never going to do that. Cliffy B's been out and said that multiple times as well. I would never do keyboard and mouse versus controller. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it's nothing to worry about. You're not going to see any Call of Duties implementing this or Battlefields or anything like that. It's going to be fine. There's probably only going to be a handful of games that ever support this, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't worry about it. If you even look back to the Dreamcast, it had a keyboard and mouse, and hardly anything supported it. It was more for, typing, going online with that little disc on your dial-up, so nothing to worry about.
No, I totally agree with that. And crap, great answer, great response. I think that.
What are you talking to? Yo, crap! I changed my name on Twitter to Aimbot 448 to celebrate mouse and keyboard coming, man. I think. Yo, crap! I think at the end of the day, you're right.
I'll be right back.
Dude, you're right with bringing the PC games over here, but I think you're right with the concern with Halo as well. I'm just hoping. I'm kind of sitting back here and I'm watching to see them actually put the option. Especially with something like competitive, arena in Halo, to not deal with mouse and keyboard. If I see that option in there, then I will be happy. Until then, I am going to be skeptical about this thing because I don't want to play. Like, my favorite game on Xbox is a competitive multiplayer with Halo. And I don't want them basically ruining or fracturing the community, bringing mouse and keyboard into that competitive space, man. And I just got to see what they're going to do, man. So I'm kind of sitting back and watching and seeing how this is going to be put out there. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think your worries can be put to rest. I really don't think that they're going to put the game or the consumer base at risk to say that you're going to lose that comfort zone that you have with your controller.
If it was anybody besides like Phil Spencer, the guys over at Xbox, because we have said this time and time again, they're more like PC gamers that also play on Xbox. They have done things with like with kind of like that crossplay and stuff like that had people scratching their heads, had console gamers kind of scratching their heads, especially with Gears. And it's like, well, what are you talking about? It's just more people to play with. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like they love their PC as well.
Yeah, but they give you the option in Forza, Killer Instinct, and Gears to not play with PC at all. So I think it's pretty fair, pretty clear that they're not going to.
I think when we're not talking about that, and I know Worry had made his comment, I think Xbox made, and your comments are all valid, folks. But I'm just trying to say that now you get the Age of Empires, you get the RTS games. They're not for me. They're not for you guys. I get it. But
there is an audience.
It allows Microsoft, because they're doing the whole Xbox is PC, PC is Xbox. It allows them to finally start to merge some of those other games over to the Xbox platform and give the Xbox consumers the ability, the right, the choice, or it is the generation of options, folks. Okay, it is the option for you.
Options are your friend.
Well, that's what we've been programmed to say. Boom. Okay, right? If you want to drive with the windows down and the air conditioning on and eating an ice cream and a hamburger at the same time, you do whatever the hell you want. Okay? What do you think, Worry? You're not a fan of this?
I'll tell you my opinion, and I don't speak for anybody else but myself. You remember in Kindergarten Cop when Arnold would scream, "It's not a tumor, it's not a tumor."
Yes.
Somebody needs to round up some people at Microsoft and scream at them, "It's not a PC, it's not a PC. It's a console." I mean, the Dreamcast had mouse and keyboard. Nobody used it. It's not a PC. It's not a PC. There's a reason why certain games skew towards the PC and never come to console. There's a reason why Dota is super popular on the PC. Right. It's just a PC game. It's for a PC audience. They're different audiences. That's what I think. I've been playing on console forever. I have no desire whatsoever for anybody to say to me, "Here's a keyboard and a mouse. Plug it into your console." As far as getting games from the PC to the Xbox, that's what Universal Windows platform was supposed to do, and it didn't. That's what Play Anywhere was supposed to do, and it didn't. It only worked one way and not the other.
Right.
So I don't get this mouse and keyboard's going to bring me a game thing.
Well, I agree with you. I think that, don't get me wrong, I don't think anything is wrong with what you said. I think at this point, because they are advertising it the way they want to, Worry, is that we're kind of in this we're kind of stuck in this cycle where we've got to, there's a lot of people that feel that, okay, so Gears Tactics and these other things and the Coalition, they're supposed to be making games for console and they're making games for PC, and the console guys feel slighted. And then they also don't have, we have to pay $60 a year. They don't. And it's kind of like, okay, well, once you allow the keyboard and mouse to come to Xbox and the developer is the one in charge of saying this game is prone to work with this and not with that, it opens up the library of games.
Well, then what was the big deal about Halo Wars? Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, the control scheme for a real-time strategy perfected on a console for a controller. So why not do that?
Well, the problem was a lot. They really, if you're a real hardcore RTS fan, they really dumbed down that a lot for.
But why did they dumb it down? Because it's a console.
Yeah, I mean for that, and nobody played it on PC. To be clear, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. Me personally, I just don't like mouse and keyboard. I don't like.
Neither do I. I hate it. I think.
I mean, if people want it and it's an option, I get it. Hey, great, more options and all. Just personally, I think it's bad.
But what if it's one of those things where nobody uses it, and then realistically, it's just a talking point, sort of like Play Anywhere. In my opinion, that's just realistically never done anything.
See, my thing is, how many talking points do you need that don't work before you stop looking for talking points?
Well, you know, they want that media love. You know, they they do. They really want that media love. You know, and the more things that they're consumer friendly about,
I guess.
You know, some people, anything to get somebody to go, hey, Sony, why don't you guys do that? You know,
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, honestly, I really, really, truly think that is what it is. It's all about getting the likes these days. It's not necessarily about what's better for the game. They love putting a tweet out there and getting 1,000 likes.
Bring on the macros.
Brave new world. It's a brave new world.
That's great. No, guys, listen, we are approaching the 2-hour mark. I want to say thank you to everybody. Outstanding show tonight. A lot of informative information went out there to all you guys. And then we've also got a panel that's very opinionistic, and I appreciate it. I'll go in reverse order here. Worry, outstanding. First of all, I want to thank you for reaching out to me. And I hope that you'll come back again. You know, it doesn't matter if it's once a month. I don't care if it's once a year. You coming on the show makes the show that much better. It's great to have you back on the airwaves. I would normally say, hey, let people know where they can find you. But your whole your whole purpose recently is to say, I don't want you to know where I am, but Lord, let people know what's up anyway.
I have no social media whatsoever, but I have a YouTube channel. Does that make sense?
Yes, it sure it does. In 2018, options, baby.
Options, yes. If you have a mouse and keyboard It's compatible on my channel. You can find me at the Worrywart, W0RRYWART. Low quality video and audio. So if you're looking for that, come on down.
Oh man, I was just looking for that too, man.
There
I
you
think
go.
I'm gonna
I'm
check
the
it
best
out.
there
I remember you used to do these cool little Star Wars videos and stuff.
Yeah,
Those were the best. Those were the absolute best. The voices you
Coffee
did.
contemplation.
Yeah.
That actually, yeah, and I want to retract it. The coffee cup contemplation was way better than even those. Yeah, Worry, come back, do something.
Cup. You were looking at a coffee cup.
Yeah, well, that was brilliant.
How about the pumpkin edition? Pumpkin! Pumpkin!
Yeah.
And it's that time too.
We've got Speederman 2, and we've got 1080p.
Speederman now in
Speederman 2,
4K. In
4K smoke. Come on,
4K
man.
smoke.
We need some more of that. Come on.
Worry, just good to have you back here. Your opinions are always warranted, wanted, and respected. So thanks for being here, buddy. I truly appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come back in maybe we'll give you 6 weeks. I know you like a little bit of time. I won't bug you for about 6 weeks.
Oh, that's okay.
All right. That's great. Thanks, buddy. Then I got Xbot 448. Buddy, I know you got something big cooking for tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm going to be able to sit back tomorrow for next podcast because Showstopper is taking over. Show, man, you get to do what I do. Like he'll come in, we're going to have topics. He'll be able to switch it up and talk about whatever he wants. He is bringing the gameplay as well. So for people who know, next podcast, it is the gaming podcast where at the end of the show, you vote for who had the best gameplay during that episode, and Showstopper brought gameplay. It is going to be fire.
What about the
tomorrow.
Don? Did he bring gameplay?
The Don's got gameplay as well.
There's
Is
the
it
winner.
Mud
Crap.
Trucks?
No, what about the Predator? What about Pred?
Man, as of right now, no. I will let the
It's
cat
all
out of the
about
bag
mud
here.
trucks. It's all about mud trucks.
Yeah, Mud
Dude, he
Trucks
hasn't shown Mud
2018.
Trucks. I think K Mega might have the game, so you might get your fix. It'll be coming live from the 405, man.
Great. There's a plug, guys. Check out the next podcast tomorrow. And then I got Italian Clowns, who he doesn't want to mooch a game. He just wants to mooch a slice. Clowns, where can people find you, buddy?
Hey, what's up? You can check us out, Four Guys with Quarters, every Thursday. We're now streaming live on Twitter as well. And don't forget to vote for Pred anytime Pred's got gameplay clips. And on Tuesday, I'm going to beat Xbox and Forza. That's why my license plate is by Xbot. So he knows what's up.
Yeah,
Nice,
see,
nice.
what
My license plate's true 4K. That's right. True.
Is it really?
4K, yes.
What Clowns is
mooching.
doing right now is he is building his garage. He is going through and he's trying to pick the best cards because, I'm not going to be able to play until Tuesday, but I am going to use my Forza Hub money and get the cars that I know I love to drive.
Well, it looks like you got a challenge on your hands, buddy.
Yeah, I can beat him in a 3-wheel car. Don't worry.
Well, make sure you advertise it. I'll retweet it and I'll be in the chat for sure. I want to see this stream. That's something to watch. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. And then I got Senora Boombastic Boom. This is his 6th podcast today and his 2nd Emmy nomination. Boom, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Boomstick XL. The DM is open to all. And if you're interested in fair and really cool content, check out my YouTube channel, Double Barrel Gaming. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, and I really think you're going to dig it.
Well, I like how you put that in there, Crap. Instead of using the word really, change it to fair. I like that, right? People
Yes.
always just say real
Fair and
reviews. Right?
balanced.
Fair, yes. Fair.
That was a megaton.
That was a megaton. Love it, Boom. Love it. And then Alan Walsh, fullthrottle.com. Alan, to be honest with you, it really is your week of weeks, buddy. This is really, truly your time to shine.
It's been an amazing week. I dropped the Forza Horizon 4 review Tuesday, gave it 10 out of 10. You can check that out on fullthrottlemedia.co.uk. And then this week as well, I was in Goodwood for the launch celebration of the game. It was an honor to be invited for that. Like, it was a global PR event. They flew out people all across the world for that. The numbers were limited, and I was one of the few people who actually got a spot at that event, which was, a really cool experience to be a part of. Interviewed Ralph again, did an interview with Aaron Greenberg. I'm going to have coverage of that coming out soon. But if you're wondering what else they had us doing there, we were essentially recreating a bunch of stuff in the game in real life, and it was awesome. I loved it.
Awesome, buddy. I can't wait to actually get to a show where you're next to iJustine and let her know that Mooch is ready anytime she is to host the Game Awards.
I saw her, but I didn't get a chance to talk to her. No.
Remind me to send you my number, buddy. We'll get something together. We're gonna work this out so that we can make this happen in the future. Alan, always great to have you on the show. Your insight is unbelievable. Love it. Thank you so much, buddy. And then I've got the one, the only Crap Gamer. Crap, where the hell can you be found this weekend?
Crap Gamer Reviews.
Oh, there you go, folks. Just when you thought it was going to be another megaton. Guys, listen, great weekend. If we've invoked you to go do it, buy the Ultimate Edition. If not, get Game Pass. Forza Horizon 4, just like we've said in other great games for both consoles, all three consoles. This is one you definitely want to try, definitely want to play. Give it a shot. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Peace out. We'll see you next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you. Good night.
Later, everyone.